Started out with 100 startups, went down to 50, then went down to 15, and I already spoke to some of the startups who did not make the cut today, and they were quite interesting. So I have great expectations from the top 15. Before we introduce our first startup, I'd like to invite our judges on the stage. We start with Tim. Adora. Eamon. And Andy.
Does it matter where are we supposed to pick a specific chair?
Well, you can just sit
Okay.
right there or play musical chairs, whatever you like. Okay, so the rules are quite simple. 2.5 minutes of pitch and 2.5 minutes of question and answer. My job is to keep time, and I will signal the last 15 minutes to the competitors by simulating this analog clock. And when time is up, we will actually cut you off. And then there will be 2.5 minutes of questions. We need to keep it moving fast so we can be done in an hour and a half. So, is our first competitor ready? Hey, Doc, are you ready? All right, Doc, come on stage. Where are you from? Hey, Doc comes to us from Lebanon. Are you ready to pitch?
Ready?
Do you want to pitch to the audience or to the jury? It's up to you.
I'll be pitching to the audience, and then we'll have a chat after.
What do you want before you start your pitch from the audience?
Nothing. I hope they enjoy the presentation.
Well, what about an applause or something?
That would be nice.
Okay, give it to him.
And applause for the rest.
All right, that's your clock. Ready, set, pitch.
A wonderful afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ahmed. I'm the co-founder of HeyDoc. 4 years ago, my partner and I entered the realm of health tech. And we noticed a certain gap in the market, and we wanted to investigate it further. So went out, spoke to doctors, and what these guys said was they wanted to streamline communications with their patients and move them away from WhatsApp and phone calls and emails. So we went out and spoke to patients. And what these guys wanted was a doctor on demand, someone they can rely on when they had a non-urgent medical issue, and they wanted to save time. So HeyDoc was launched, a global health communications platform that connects patients anywhere in the world with doctors globally for the purpose of non-urgent medical advice. Getting on board is quite easy. Within 2 minutes, you can install the app, check out the doctor's profile, and initiate an advisory. That's simple. And it'll cost the patient approximately $40, which is split between us and the doctors and the hospitals. It's built on top of a proprietary engine that supports non-real-time communications on top of text, media, voice notes, and video notes. It's artificially intelligent. It integrates with different wearable devices and diagnostic tools. And what we're really excited about is the launch of virtual reality treatment in the future. Now, the space is quite open, but what makes us different is the global advisory, so a mother in Istanbul can speak to a pediatrician in London, the privacy and the private and secure online patient records, and the integration with different devices. We also launched an initiative called Salamtak that aims at democratizing healthcare. So that means those who can afford to pay for it will, but those who can't won't have to. And we will make it happen because we're the Hadid brothers, me and my partner. And we have Man, who came on board as our major investor and advisor, and we've got a brilliant team of coders behind us. So we went out and checked out the markets. The GCC, for example, has over 65 million outpatients every year going to private hospitals. In the OECD, every person visits the doctor on average 6.6 times. So we launched a pilot to validate our assumptions, and what we had in 5 months was 3,000 patients generating 5 to 10 advisories every day, people from Chicago to Malaysia. So we believe by 2021, we're going to have over 214,000 patients on board, generating over $6.8 million of revenue. And to achieve that, we're currently fundraising $1.8 million for an 18-month runway to achieve our targets and goals.
Thank you, sir. Just on time. Now, face the jury. You can take my seat if you like, here. Okay, who wants to go?
So tell me, you've got First of all, there are a lot of these platforms for doctors, and so you've got to really figure out how you differentiate yourself. The second was, you're raising 1.6 million, and in what was it, 3 years or 4 years, you get to be an $8 million company.
Yes.
That may not be big enough to justify a $1.6 million investment unless you're giving away a huge amount of the company.
We were actually having this chat this morning. First, in regards to the different players in the market, we understand, and what we're trying to do is change the way it's happening. A lot of the players have different models. We're coming in with quite a different model that's more B2C, that's more focused on the communications engine, whose goal is to create a health communications platform that we all are sort of into, that helps connect us with all of these devices around us, that helps innovates on the different communication channels. We see players that are moving the physical world to the digital, having a consultation online. But that's not what people wanted. During our pilot, what we realized from our patients is they wanted to just chat with the doctor. They wanted that WhatsApp style, as we call non-real-time communication. And this is what we're investing our time in. As for the investment, yes, this is a continuous chat, but we're very young, and we're trying to figure things out as we go along. We might launch today, and we reach our targets next year. And then, we're going to plan and change accordingly. But based on our numbers and all the studies and the business models we've been working out, and with all the different investors and advisors, we feel at this stage, this makes sense for us.
What's the doctor's relationship to the platform? Is it like a marketplace where they're signing up for it?
Yeah, so doctors come on board. Obviously, we vet them very well. We make sure that they're all well certified. They come from solid backgrounds all over the world. It doesn't have to be from the highest hospitals in the world. It could be a very good doctor that has his own private clinic, and you or her private clinic. And it could be, and each person can choose the doctor that they want to talk to. And they all have their different rates, and you choose who to speak to.
Of all the questions that are coming in right now, you're getting 5 to 10 a day, which is good. What's like the most common? Is it more generalist type questions, or is it more specialist, I guess?
We thought, for example, when we started, one of the assumptions was dermatology was going to be our main thing. So even when we did like a small video, it was all about the rash. What we realized that GPs, family internal medicine, psychologists, dietitians, and pediatrics were the most sort of specialties that people accessed. After that, we had other kind of specialties that came aboard, such as dermatology. And these are all things we only learned during our sort of pilot, and we're going to keep doing that.
Sorry, one more question. It seems to me there are a lot of platforms also in trying to connect your actual GP or primary doctor to the actual patient, and through texting and stuff like that, it makes it easier for the primary doctor. What makes you guys better than that? Because my primary doctor would know everything about me and would be the best person for myself.
That's true. So the online patient records, so the patient can extract all this information. So let's say you see 5 clinics. You go to 5 clinics usually for your different doctors. All this data is spread out. It's dispersed. So the first thing that we want to try to do is build this, what we call a holistic profile. So we collect all this data, and it's in your platform. So when you're talking to a doctor, you can easily connect. The connection with all of these different devices that are going to change as we progress will also add a lot of value, so that I can share with the doctor any piece of information or any vital data. One of the main problems with patients is taking time off for a non-urgent case, which is 78% of all medical cases. A lot of the cases are go home, sleep, you're just tired. And these are the kind of case that we're trying to resolve, or I'm not sure if I should go to the hospital or not. And we had a lot of these examples. We had a case where we usually don't know what happens, but the doctor told us that someone swallowed a pen cap, a Bic cap, and the doctor said, yeah, no, go to the hospital now. This is not something you use this app for. So these are the kind of cases that we're trying to tackle on a global perspective, because everything we've seen is very local. It tackles the market. Sorry.
Good job.
Yeah.
Good job.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Did you guys sense the energy here? He was on fire, wasn't he? Wonderful, wonderful, good job. All right, our second picture of the day is Belt Road EPC.
Hi, how are you?
Hello, sir. Where do you come from?
We're based in Hong Kong, but I'm from Sri Lanka.
You're from Sri Lanka and you're based in Hong Kong.
Yep.
Do you want to pitch to the jury or the audience?
Oh, yes, yes.
Audience. And what would you like from the audience?
Well, validation for me.
So let's give him a ready, set, pitch, okay? All ready? Ready, set, pitch.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are Belt Road EPC. The Belt Road Initiative is one of the largest infrastructure development agendas undertaken in recent history. It covers more than 60 markets and has an investment pipeline of more than $1 trillion US, including the middle corridor projects here in Turkey. Even though the top line numbers are very attractive, there are a number of challenges in executing these projects. I know this firsthand as a supplier of materials in Sri Lanka. Our biggest challenge is to find working capital to finance our daily operations. Chinese contractors, when they enter these markets, they need a mechanism to overcome language barriers and get access to local supply chains. And in countries like Hong Kong, there are investors who want to get exposure into such projects, but there are limited investment products for them to invest in. So what do we bring into the table? First and foremost, we are an online marketplace between contractors and suppliers. Based on these trade verifications, we offer a cross-border, peer-to-peer invoice discounting service. Since our launch in July, we have managed to get 4 large contractors in Sri Lanka on board. We've been referred to our first client in Bangladesh last week. We have more than 10 registered suppliers with us, and 2 investors have agreed to fund invoices up to $600,000 US. Sri Lanka is our first and beachhead market. These 4 projects alone has an investment of $4.7 million US. 30% of that is for local procurements. We can scale within the region easily. We have a Nasdaq-listed IT services company as our technology partner. Standard Chartered Bank is our core banker. We're talking to them on API integration to completely automate the backend. There is cross-border financing involved, therefore we've cleared our system as a structure with an international legal firm, and we've covered a number of startup events before coming to Istanbul. We make money with commissions from suppliers as well as servicing fees from our funders. There are a number of banks covering contractors and developers, as well as SME financing platforms are available widely. We are, however, one of the first platforms to bridge both these concepts together. Myself and Nick come from a banking and trading background. Our CTO has exposure in building highly scalable systems, as well as drives lean startup innovations in Sri Lanka. We have a board, and we are looking for a like-minded investor to join our journey. Thank you.
Okay, who wants to go first?
So how are
Tim?
people
Sit.
how are people doing this now? Is there, I mean, what are you replacing? Are they using some ERP system? Are they using Salesforce? What are they using?
It is basically completely offline, paper-based record systems in these markets. There is nothing.
Are you only going after these markets, or are you going to go global?
Right now, we've tried to be focused on these projects because it caters to a different segment. Most of these projects are in developing countries in rural areas where technology is not much of a driver. So we are trying to get process innovation and automation within the structure.
So people are using paper?
Predominantly, I've been in this business for more than 4 years as a supplier. 90% of our documentation is still handwritten paperwork.
Tell me a little bit about the technology. You mentioned you have an outsourced tech partner. Are you guys building stuff in-house?
Yeah, myself and Nick, we've kind of sat on the idea for about 4 months where we don't have a tech background. We pitched this to Chandika, who is the global head of engineering at Virtusa. So he came on board, and then we got his firm to kind of help us roll this into the market. We have all the IP rights, but it was just to, so when we talk to banks and we talk to these large state-owned enterprises, there's a level of tech knowledge that they expect. We couldn't find a co-founder otherwise to build it on our own.
I might have missed it, but do you already have any transactions going through the marketplace yet?
Sorry, we don't, I didn't have that on the slide, but we've done we've done this business profitably for the last year offline. Since July, we've now started off the MVP with about 100,000 monthly in July, and last month we hit 240,000.
What do you mean offline? Like,
so I'm a
the previous
supplier,
business?
and then my partner comes in. So
Okay.
basically, we got this tech platform going to expand into other suppliers and funders.
and then it would seem that language barrier is a big issue, like you
Yes.
mentioned. How are you exactly solving this?
So most of the Chinese contractors are on WeChat, so they want a mechanism for us to integrate, and we are doing that. And you can translate your conversation on the
So you have a
app as well.
translator in the back? who's-
Yes.
Okay.
No, no. On WeChat itself, you have the option of translating and then
Oh.
sending out the message.
Have you done any
It's-
market sizing on this? How big's the market?
So Sri Lanka alone, we are working with 4 projects at the moment as a test and pilot. The investment is $4.7 billion US. These are port and road projects mainly.
Wait, what's $4.7 billion?
So there are 2 ports which are being built at about $1.5 billion US each. That's the investment that's coming into the country.
Market size, he's asking market size.
Yeah, so 30% of that is for local procurements. That's what we're trying to address.
And you would take 1% of that, though?
We're trying to charge about 1 to 1.5% per invoice
Okay.
discounted.
So your whole market size is like $10 million.
No, it's about $1 billion USD of procurement, of which if we get about 5-10% through our platform, we can basically make revenue on that. But it's 1% of the purchase orders that will go through the system.
Which is how big?
Right now, one project that we are working with has monthly invoices of about $12 million US a month. That's just one port project in Colombo. The biggest bottleneck that we have is we need lenders to come on board on the P2P side. So that is something that we are trying to attract and expand on.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.
Folks, as you see, 5 minutes flies. You have to be on your toes. Thank you, sir. Our third picture of the day is Advancio Interactive. Advancio, welcome to Istanbul. Where are you from?
Nigeria.
Nigeria.
Yeah.
And would you like an applause from this side of the audience, maybe? You want it all? There. Are you pitching to the audience?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Ready,
Go.
set, go.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Fisaya Oludare. I'm the founder of Advancio Interactive, a software development company based in Lagos, Nigeria, with focus on financial inclusion technology. So if you look over here, the 1 billion people in sub-Saharan Africa, only 34% of the adults have bank accounts. In Nigeria, where I'm from, only 38% of the adults have bank accounts, out of 96 million people. Right now in Nigeria, we have 25 banks with 6,000 branches. And those 6,000 branches only cover 40% of the country. So the problem with this is the banks cannot afford to keep setting up branches across the country. It costs them $500,000 to build a branch, and it also costs them $200,000 to operate that branch in a year. So to tackle this socioeconomic problem, we developed Cover Branchless. Cover Branchless is an agency banking solution that provides financial services at the doorsteps of everyone. So, with our solution, banks can offer financial services at a fraction, financial services like account opening, cash deposits, withdrawals, and so much more, loan requests, and whatever they want, at a fraction of what it costs to run a branch in a year. The potential for this is $95 million in transaction revenue only from 60 million people in 5 years' time. Today, we have 3 banks that are working with us. They have generated $800,000 in transaction volume. They have opened 3,500 bank accounts, and we have generated $20,000. And you can see in the pipeline, because I'm not sure I have enough time. So the team, the main guys in the team, we have over 34 years combined experience in technology, business, and payments. Today, we are asking for $500,000 to maximize the Nigerian market and also extend our operations into West Africa within the next 5 years. Thank you.
Andy, you want to start?
So, as far as the bank goes, obviously you're trying to help the banks here, but
Yeah.
companies like M-Pesa really are enabling the telcos to really become
Yeah.
a major potential financial service
Yeah.
provider. Do you think What direction is this going to go?
Okay, so for instance, M-Pesa works in East Africa very well, but in Nigeria, because of the central bank's regulations, they are not putting banking in the hands of telcos. So they're making sure the banks bank. So we are putting our technology in the hands of the bank to use for financial inclusion. Carry out your services. Don't build new branches because it's going to cost you a lot. Take our technology at a fraction, $500 a year, set up an agent, and then he can go into his village or any remote area and carry out financial transactions.
And is there something, because there are other companies that are trying to do similar
So
things for banks. How are you different?
So there are other companies trying to do it. How we're different is because we are bank agnostic, so we can work with any bank. So those guys, they have their technology, and then you must work with their network. But we are just providing technology for anybody that's ready to do this business.
So after our long talk on the boat, all about B2B2C, you said nothing. Nothing about B2B2C.
Okay, so
what are you thinking?
Okay, yeah, so today is B2B, but that's part of what we're trying to use the money for, to expand to B2C. So he gave me some pointers yesterday on the boat. I didn't forget that.
You didn't change anything
I
here.
didn't forget that, but so we're going to be facing the customers directly, so we put the banks behind us. So the banks come to us, and then to reach the customers, yeah.
Iman, you want to jump in?
Yeah, do you need the banks?
Right now, yes, because of the laws in Nigeria, but in the future, we're trying to shed them.
Would you go to another country where the banks are more,
Yes.
the
Yes.
regulations are more friendly?
Yes.
Would it make sense to start in another country, or it makes sense to start in Nigeria because you know the market?
I'm familiar with Nigeria, and if somebody's going to take me to another country, I'll prefer someone that is familiar with that market. I had a similar discussion with someone that wants to take it outside Nigeria, but yeah.
Adora, you have a question?
But also West Africa, because, I understand West African market too, yeah.
I'm good.
You're good?
You got 2 seconds left. Why are you doing this? You, personally.
Democratized banking.
Personally, that's a big question because, first of all, I'm passionate about development in Africa. And I've always known technology is the only way we can do this. Now, if we're solving a problem, a socio-economic problem, like finance, it's going to evolve. Now, you're going to improve people's lives over time. So we start with finance. We include you. We know you. We can help you where you need it. And then the economy grows.
Okay, thank you. Hey. Guys, as you see, it's about changing the world. Thank you, sir. Is Wolves Interactive ready? Which one is coming, Wolves or Interactive? Both. Hello, sir. How are you?
Thank you.
Where are you from?
We are from Syria,
You're from Syria.
but based out of Istanbul.
Based out of Istanbul. You got a pitch
Yes,
in
sir.
Turkish or Arabic or English?
Türkçe çok az biliyorum.
Çok
so
az ama
we'll stick
fena
to
değil.
English.
Konuşuyorsun. Aferin.
Thank you.
Okay, so would you like a special cheer from the audience? A Turkish yallah cheer, for example. Yallah!
Thank you.
Haydi
you.
bastır.
Shall we?
No, wait. They started the clock too early. Can we reset the clock, please? Yes. Are you ready now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, pitch.
Hello, everyone. We are Wolves Interactive, a mobile games company that specializes in racing games. In 2016, there were more internet users on mobile devices than desktops and laptops combined. And this caused the gaming industry on mobile to explode into a $46 billion industry this year, projected to grow to $50 billion next year. The reason for that is simple. 57% of mobile users install games before anything else. So we at Wolves Interactive launched our first app a year ago and started marketing for it in 2017. And so far, Traffic Tour has been a hit, with over 14.7 million downloads and 100,000 daily active users. And the way we did that is quite simple. We gave our users a very unique, realistic racing experience. We also gave them the option to race against each other in real time. And we supported 14 different languages, all for a very low file size. For the first 8 months of 2017, we generated more than $270,000 in revenue with 30% month-to-month growth rate. And the way we did that is also quite simple. We get our users either organically or by online ads, so the user gets to install the game for free, they get to play it for free, and then they either watch ads or purchase items, and that's how we generate our revenue. So 40% of our revenue is through in-app purchases, and 60% is through ads. That's not the only thing we did. We also prepared a bundle of tools, a toolkit, own in-house built private toolkit, which we called Massey. And with that, we're hoping to accelerate the launch of new apps over the next few years. In the marketplace, we're competing against big companies like EA Gameloft, SK Games, and Natural Motion. Our team consists of 4 co-founders and 15 employees, all of which sought refuge to Turkey after the unfortunate ongoing events in Syria. We're looking to raise $1.5 million to expand the team and increase our marketing budget. Thank you.
Who wants to go first? Adora?
A lot of gaming companies suffer from the one-hit wonder disease. So I like the idea of the toolkit, and you're going to build different apps, but these companies also suffer from like the apps from app to app don't really
That's true.
vary too much. So yeah, how do you solve that?
The reason for that is they usually jump from one category to the other. Meanwhile, with us, we're planning to stick to the same category. So we've developed a very unique, nice experience. We're actually gamers ourselves, so it's something that we would play ourselves. So for the next games, we have this traffic tour, which we launched fast. We shipped it quick to market so we can start generating a little bit of revenue. And we're planning to take that same experience with a bit of a bigger game and bigger games, actually, coming in the future.
So I'm going to add to that because I had a similar question. You know, what's it called? The mining game or the Minecraft.
Yeah.
You, sorry about that. They've figured out how to start and then keep people forever because you get into it, you go deeper and deeper and deeper. But racing games, it's like, okay, I raced, I did it, raced again, raced my friend, done.
That's true.
So how do you get them to go in there deeper? How do you keep them in your world
Okay, so
forever?
when you're providing your players with online races, and it's actually races, like you can open your phone right now, race against someone in wherever. So every race is actually unique, depending on the player, depending on how they modify their car, the power of their car. So it's always different. There's always something different. And that's how we keep them around. Yeah.
And that's enough to keep them? I don't know.
I mean,
I'm not sure.
it's a unique experience. And me, myself, I've been playing like a game for the past 10 years, and it's the exact same game with like no released versions whatsoever. But it keeps me going back because I'm always playing with new people, and every time it's a new experience. Even though it's the same track, it's the same environment and all of that. But since the racer that I'm going up against is different, that's how we keep
How's
going.
this refugee thing working out for you?
It's going great. I mean, Turkey has been very receptive and very supportive of not just Syrians, pretty much anyone.
Yeah.
Thank you, Turkey.
That gets you an extra 15 seconds.
So last question. I come from the games industry and was lucky enough to have one game that was a hit, and then another game that was also a hit, but it had the letter S in front of it. You know, the toolkit that you've built, that seems to me to be infinitely scalable, whereas the games industry is, you know, unless you're Supercell, or I mean, even Rovio have been, you know, they did 100 games and then they had Angry Birds, and they still just have it. You know, so is the toolkit something that could potentially spin out?
We're actually keeping an open mind about that. It's not in the pipeline anytime soon. We don't have a plan for it, but we're open to ideas.
Last question? Okay, excellent. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Good job. Well done. Next up is Travone. Did I say that right? Travony, maybe? Travony. Hello, Travony.
Hi.
Where are you from?
Pakistan.
Pakistan.
Yes.
Wow, you got cheering section there for you.
Hello, Cleveland.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. A special hand to our friend from Pakistan. Go ahead and pitch, sir.
My name is Roza Rahman, and I'm the co-founder for Treveny, Pakistan's first peer-to-peer de-crowd shipping application. So for long in Pakistan, the courier companies have been charging extortionist amount of money. Same-day delivery rates could be as high as 5% of an average Pakistani's household income. So what is the solution? Cheaper deliveries? Yes, with Treveny, because we provide a platform that connects senders with travelers and uniting them for fast, secure, and hassle-free deliveries. So the market, the courier express parcel market, is about $300 million. And that does not take into account the 60% of Pakistanis who are not active players in the market, simply because they cannot afford it. So we have 74% approval rating. So this $300 million can multiply by 3-folds within no time with Treveny. Our product is available for download from the Google Play Store. Our revenue model, peer-to-peer, is absolutely free, of course. However, on our scouting model, where we connect with shops all across Pakistan, and they act as a pet shop for a drop-off and pick-up for travelers and senders. We have a pro version, in-app purchases such as priority listing, insurance through our platform, among others. So in our beta version, we have had about 500 plus deliveries, 3,000 app installs, mostly organic, 500 plus trusted community who have verified their accounts with us through a rigorous verification process. The average transaction, not kg, but average transaction has been $10. So we do have competition in the market, but nothing is direct, because nobody is using the peer-to-peer economy sharing model that we have. Me, Saad, and I are co-founders for Treveny. We have about 10 years of working experience in logistics, supply chain, in operations, marketing, and PR. We are looking to raise about $300,000. Invest in Pakistan, invest in Treveny, because our internet users are more than the total population of Canada, Scandinavian countries, and a lot of countries in the Middle East. Thank you.
Excellent use of time. Done with 2 seconds. Who wants to go first?
That's pretty good timing.
Thank you.
Yeah, go ahead.
My question is, are most of the deliveries you're seeing right now, are they long haul or short haul? Are they intercity?
So basically, we do have inter and intracity, both of them. So there are rider
What's
apps.
the majority right
So
now?
the majority is, intercity, because people have come from the rural areas or small towns in Pakistan to the bigger cities. Now the thing is, they are on WhatsApp, they're on Facebook, they're using smartphones anyways. Pakistan is a very young population. 70% of our 200 million population is under 30. So they're all tech savvy, they know how to use the smartphones, and they want to deliver goods, but they wait until and unless they don't get some family members or somebody they know to get the goods transported to the desired location.
How's it going so far? Do you get $10 per transaction, or they are an average of $10 and you get like one?
So basically, on the peer-to-peer model, we are not earning any money, but the scouting model is where people who do not want to meet at a certain location to exchange the parcel, the goods. So we give them a shop in Karachi, Islamabad, and Lahore, the 3 major cities. We have shops where we have network, so people can just drop off their parcels over there, and the traveler can pick it up, and then we charge a 25% commission on whatever the rate has been decided by the traveler.
And how much revenue do you have now?
So we don't have any revenue, because we were in the beta stage for 3 to 4 months, and we are gaining traction. We're trying to make sure that the Pakistani audience know what the peer-to-peer terminology is, economy sharing, how the application works. So this is something that we want to do as early as next year, January. So that's all in the pipeline at the moment.
So you're
Andy?
saying that basket size has nothing to do with the way that you get paid for this?
No, so the basket side is, so we promote about 5 kg, 10 kg, 15 kg, 20 kg, because most of our users, they own a car, and they travel from one city to another, and their boots are absolutely empty. So they can take up to 50 kg, 60 kg, 70 kg, and they can earn like about $50, $60 per ride. So that reimburses their fuel costs entirely.
So you're only at $10 now. That I'm guessing that probably doesn't take a whole lot of the boot. How do you
Yes.
expand that basket size?
So basically, because we were in the beta version, we were taking a lot of feedback from the market as well. We were pivoting our business model as well. So at the moment, the average size would be around, 10, anywhere between 10 to 15 kgs, and people would take that. And sometimes would be probably a bit more, considering it's a long haul. So Karachi to Islamabad would be about 4 hours. So, people would have about 20, 25 kg, because between those cities, a lot of people, they live who know each other and they want to send the parcel. And then there are rent-a-car companies as well who are taking the passengers from Islamabad, taking them to Lahore for business purposes, and their boots are completely free, and they're doing a one-day trip. So they have absolutely no. So they are also offering their boot for this service.
One last question.
Why are you doing it? Why do you care?
So basically, we care because we want to put money back into the pocket of individuals. We also see that there's a huge market gap. People are not affording the courier, cannot afford the courier companies, and there's something we think we can tap in, and the larger companies wouldn't do it because it would not be economically viable for them, because there's a lot of operation costs that they have. So this is something that we are very passionate about, because we are connecting people. It's good for tourism in Pakistan. It is good for carbon emission, cutting that down. And
Good job. Thank you, sir.
thank you. Thank you.
Next up is Quotient. Quotient. Where are you from?
Kenya.
Kenya.
Yeah.
Had Nigeria, now we have Kenya.
Yes, yes. East Africa at
Are
least.
you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. Give our friend from Kenya a big hand, folks. Let's do it.
Thank you. My name is Dennis, and I'm the CEO of a fintech startup in Kenya called Quotient. And in the course of operations, we have a payment gateway. And when we are operating this payment gateway, we are supporting micro-lenders. We find out that more than 80% of people requesting these microloans don't have a credit record. And this is where it gets tricky. Yeah? You need a credit record to get the credit. But then you need credit to build that credit record. However, you find that in a country where 77% are formally unbanked, we still have a thriving economy riding on mobile money. We process 15 million transactions a day, $150 million in value, meaning there's so much data sitting with the telcos that run the mobile money operations. So what we are doing is we are going to the telcos to buy this data, using this data to predict behavior. Once you predict your behavior, we assign you a limit, and then you can borrow from us. When you borrow from us, over time, and you repay, borrow, repeat cycle, we are able to create a credit score. And then we can forward this now to the bigger lenders who will give you significant credit. We will be the Moody's of credit rating in Kenya. So when you look at the alternative data market, you find that there are those who are already solving this problem. However, they are looking at smartphone users only. They are extracting data from the smartphone users, locking out those basic phones. Now, when we access the data from the MNOs directly, we are able to access more than 26 million customers out of a possible 38. And so this makes our market quite huge. Our customers on the B2C side are the customers, those who are borrowing the loans. And on the B2B side are the financial institutions, the lenders, microfinance, savings cooperatives. And how we make money is we make money from interest on loans and from the credit request fees. So far, we have already signed a contract with the largest telco. We have a license to serve content over USSD usable on the basic phones. And we've already registered interest from 2 financial institutions. The team has lots of experience in finance, technology, and financial services. And looking at the market, the credit scoring market, we are estimating $60 million by 2020. Kenya right now, the demand for fintech lending is at $2.5 billion. And we need seed money, $150,000. And we are looking to get now lending capital, $850,000.
Okay. Who goes first? You want this?
No,
Sure.
no, have it.
So with Branch,
Yes.
I understand that they give out small amounts of money, and the way they test is if they pay back that amount, then they'll loan more. And that's the way they're doing it. And 60% or something of the first loans don't get paid back. But then in Indonesia, it's like only 2% default. And the way they do it is they say you've got to get a voucher, you got to get somebody to vouch for you. And that makes a big difference. Do you think your data is more valuable than a vouch? Or do you think, do you think somebody's going to be more effective getting their money back because they've got friends vouching for them?
Okay. Well, when friends vouch for you, of course, there is some form of credibility. But you also have to consider the friend's credibility. Now, when you look at Branch and the data they get, they're extracting it from your phone. Us, we are extracting it from the telco. And this is the same model M-Shwari is using, and 3% of the loans don't get paid for M-Shwari.
Sorry, you're getting your data from the telco?
Yeah, from a telco.
Then you're at their mercy.
Yes?
You're at the mercy of the telco.
Well, yes, indeed, and we have contingency measures on that because we intend to now get data from the lenders. We have hundreds, if not thousands, of lenders who don't have data to validate. So they usually request that you come in with your land ownership documents, vehicle ownership documents. That locks out the common man who does not have land or vehicles. So yeah, we can still get data from these other people, and we've already developed a web portal which they can put in their data.
Did someone else want to jump in?
Yeah, kind of the same question, because I'm also worried about the payback here. Are there studies, or have you shown already that someone, with the credit score in which you are creating, is going to pay back their loan? I guess if not, are there other data sources in which you would own explicitly that you could layer on top of mobile usage data?
So yes, there are reports from the largest bank in terms of micro lending, M-Shwari, and looking at their data, they have 97% repayment rates. And they use the same data we are going to use. However, they are not in the credit score market. We are in the credit score market. We are not considering ourselves as fintech lenders, but we'll have to advance the loans to build the credit history. Then we can we can sell now the credit history. That's the difference.
Iman?
Is the telco data approach scalable? Like, have you spoken to other telcos in other markets about potentially getting this data as well?
So what is happening is the telco requires you to get a consent from the customer. So that one is done through the SMS service. Yes, so we are required to get SMS so they can sell it. But the customer has to consent before they
But in other markets, like as you expand this into other countries, other regions?
Expanding into other regions. It will have, with fintech, you are facing lots of regulations country by country. So we have to face each country as it comes.
Thank you, sir. Just give me your hand. Next up is Nolatech. Nolatech ready. Nolatech.
Hello.
How are you? Where are you from?
Iran.
You're from Iran?
Yeah.
Persia?
Yeah.
And what would you like from our audience?
I mean, we've received all love, and I want nothing more. I mean, that's
You received enough love.
Yeah.
So you don't need to receive any more love. Give him a hand anyway, folks. From Persia with love. Ready?
Yeah.
Set, pitch.
We all have thought about trading the stock markets at least once or twice, but it really needs a lot of knowledge and experience. So if we really wanted to do this, we would either educate ourselves, or we would rely on traders, brokers, securities, etc. But they don't offer the perfect deals we want. They charge us for mediocre accuracy signals, and we may even lose our money. In fact, predicting the stock market is a really daunting job because there are just too many affecting elements. News, economic surprises, and geopolitical events are just a few of those. So we designed Nolatech AI, Our AI gets all the relative data, analyzes it using machine learning and big data analytics, and outputs stock predictions. If we just take a look at the US, we see that about half of its population is trading in stocks. And there are more than 640,000 traders and brokers, let alone firms and prop trading. And we're aiming the companies moving towards AI. Our product can be accessed through our application and our API. And our algorithm is patent pending. Our API is for businesses such as brokers and prop trading. And our application is for users who want to individually trade stocks. For our revenue, we plan to follow a SaaS-based tiered model, basic with limited features, custom with customizable features and plans, and dedicated, which is our main goal, in which Knowledge AI can be run on private cloud on confidential data. These are our competitors working in different fields of economics and businesses. We are the only one to cover all customer segments, have both analytics and predictions, and above all, incorporate real-life data, which leads us to these great results, revolving around 70 to 80% accuracy, backtested in 300 weeks. And by the way, this is the output of our test and prototype algorithm with limited access to data. This is our team. Me and Amireza are experienced in machine learning and big data analytics. Ali is our gold medalist. Hossein has patented function, and Banafshe helps us greatly with content. We're looking to raise $500,000 fund to build our infrastructure and our human resources. Thank you so much.
Another perfect use of time. Who wants to go first?
So some of the greatest scientists in human history have been obsessed with alchemy, like turning lead into gold. Like AI is like, can you turn data into gold? So I'm wondering if you can predict these with limited data sets so far. Why do you need our money?
Well, actually, one of our greatest challenges is that we need some tick-by-tick data, especially in the stock markets. But they're either not free or not available for a long time span, so our algorithm needs it about 70 to 20 years. So we either need money so we can purchase this data, or, yeah.
Sorry, 7 to what was that? You need 7 to 10 years for this to work, or?
Well, actually, for our algorithm to train, because as we all know, stock is not, actually very good for predicting. So we need a long time span of data, and we can see how the changes really are in a long period of time, and about 15 to 20 years is
7
good.
years back, right?
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, not forward.
Yeah, I guess maybe it's really. I didn't hear your whole question, but I was like, if this actually works, why not just start a hedge fund? No, seriously.
well, yeah. The thing is, what we're doing is not we're telling what to buy or what to sell, and when to buy and when to sell. We're just predicting a trend of the future. So it needs further analysis that we are not experts in. We're experts in data, and we can generate these, statics. So experts can, exploit it. Yeah, and for this to work really well, as I said, we need the tick-by-tick data, which is not available for us.
And
Can you just walk through the monetization here again? Because there's a B2B element, I think you said, and then a B2C, right?
Yeah. Okay, so we want to provide an API for businesses such as brokers and prop traders. Well, brokers, they provide signals to customers who don't know much about the stocks maybe, and they want to know what to buy and what not to buy. So we're going to tell what's the future is going to be like, and they're going to look at it and maybe use it as a factor of their own decisions. And about prop traders, well, they invest for themselves and they want to make money, so they say what they want, and we give them the statics that they want. Yeah.
Now,
Tim?
can people put their own algorithm on here?
Or
is this just like you sell the data and hedge funds take advantage of it, or is this like you're a platform and people can develop to it?
Well, actually, we're a platform in which we get the data that we need, and we analyze it, and we output the prediction on the future market. It's not like it's not like somewhere that people would come and develop their own algorithms. Yeah.
So it's all one thing. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we build it.
It's all up to you guys.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, and I told you this on the boat.
Yeah, yeah.
If everybody has your data,
Okay.
then it doesn't help people pick stocks because they're all going in one direction, and then suddenly there's a.
It's like Istanbul traffic then.
Well, yeah, it's actually.
Okay, thank
Okay,
you.
so thank you. Thank
Great.
you.
By the way, Tim keeps referring to the boat.
Yeah, you should start.
Tim, you want to tell him about the boat? People don't know what you're talking about when you talk about the
Oh,
boat.
we went on a boat with a lot of these entrepreneurs, and I was kind of mobbed, so it was really fun. I got a chance to meet with various entrepreneurs, and they pitched me, and I guided them. And they didn't always take my advice, which is usually good sign if the entrepreneur doesn't always take your advice.
So these teams have been actually with the mentors throughout the 3 days. They received a lot of advice, honing their skills, moving up to the finals. Next up
You want your
is
cap back?
FlexiSAF
Yeah, I'm good, don't worry about it.
or FlexiSAF. Which one is it?
I don't
FlexiSAF.
see it. Do you?
FlexiSAF.
Down there?
Yeah,
Where are you from, FlexiSAF?
I'm from Nigeria.
Another entrant from Nigeria.
Oh, there you
What would you like from our audience? A special cheer, a Nigerian welcome. How does that go? Woo! All right, Faiz, go.
Hi, I'm Faiz, and we are a cloud-based school management software. What you are looking at is a sensible investment with exponential growth, and I will tell you that. Sub-Saharan Africa is expected to lead the global economic growth, and there are more than 200 million Africans between the ages of 15 and 24, and it is growing. With the African economy expected to double that of the advanced economies, the potential investment opportunity is unquestionable. A key growth driver is that we are solving big challenges, and the one we are focused on now is this. More than 80% of schools in sub-Saharan Africa manage their processes manually, and this is a big problem we are focused on, and that's what you investors like. Over 20 billion is spent annually in school process management. There are more than 180 million enrolled students and over 200,000 schools across sub-Saharan Africa. The solution to the problem is the cloud-based school management we provided. And we focus on 3 things: improving staff productivity, improving financial efficiency, and simplified report generation. The way we make money is simple. Schools pay a subscription termly basis. In 2017 alone, we have done almost $500,000, and we have converted 130 more schools. In the last 5 years, we have converted 448 schools, 200,000 enrolled students, and we have 99% customer retention. We have been recognized by Google and Capterra and Finance Online. One of the most remarkable feedback we get from our clients is that we are affordable and we are fast to customize and give them support. Alamin and Abubakar are my co-founders, and we have a combined experience of more than 20 years in software engineering and business development. So in 2018, we want to double our performance and do $1.2 million. But with your investment, we can do 400% of that. We seek 1.2 million to expand across sub-Saharan Africa. 41% of that will go to engineering, 16% for operations, and 43% dedicated to marketing. Thank you.
Okay, Andy?
So the platform is helping. How much of the does the platform capture of the whole school interaction? It sounds like an efficiency tool for the teachers. Does it also help with communicating to the students and the parents?
Yeah.
Is it actually a portal?
Yeah, it's a portal, and over the years it has matured from administration software where it helps the administrators, the accountants, and the teachers, and now it's also a communication platform between the schools and the parents. So it's a complete school management solution for the teachers, parents, and administrators.
And how long are the contracts for? Or do you have contracts? Or is it an annual type of contract, or?
Well, it's continuous, it's license-based, as long as you use the application.
Year to year?
Yeah, it's termly, that's 3 times in a year, and the schools pay us, but it's continuous. As long as you use the platform, you continue paying for that. So we host you online, we give you all the support you need, and whatever updates we make, you get them for free.
What's the $20 billion market? That's all the software that all the people in Nigeria are buying for schools, or is that worldwide? That's a big number.
Yeah, so that it's for managing the school process. Usually schools spend a lot of money, when it comes to students' enrollment, when it comes to computerizing students' results and all of that. So when you do the number, they spend a lot of those money, on these processes, which can be reduced.
Right, is that Nigeria only, or is it
Sub-Saharan
worldwide?
Africa.
Sub-Saharan Africa.
All of Sub-Saharan Africa spends $20 billion in software for schools?
Not just the software.
Oh, okay.
The school process management.
Yeah, so you need to figure out what the real market is. Yeah. And we talked on the boat, and
on the boat.
And we were talking about somehow getting through to the parent, because that's how you build a business.
Yeah.
It's kind of a nice small business until you get through to the parents. How are you going to do that?
Yeah. I remember we discussed this on the boat, and I told you from B2B, we want to move to B2C, and we already have like an R&D team working on e-learning tools, to help improve education. And with that, we want to target parents and the students directly, and help improve the learning process. The challenge now is with foreign software like Khan Academy, Coursera, and the rest. Some of the content are not really our needs, so we are working on that to develop content and an e-learning platform that will bring teachers and students together, and we hope to move to B2C.
Okay, thank you. Okay, folks, we've had more than half of the finalists on the stage, so we're at the halfway point. This is probably an opportune moment for you to do the dance.
I think it's time for jumping jacks, or just to do your dance.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, let's all do the dance. Come on, we're going to do the dance.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, we're going to start going to the right.
Ready? We go.
Start with the left foot. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hop! You guys clap and we hop, man. Now we go to the left.
Please don't record
1,
this.
2, 3, 4. Hop! Thank you.
Yeah! I got the jump. That's right.
That's the only part I can get right.
Okay. Didn't you guys want to stand up and
Hey,
stretch?
they should stand up. What are you doing?
Yeah, stand up and
Come
stretch.
on, stand up, do the dance. And
You can do the dance when you're standing, just like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, hop. Come on. Codella waiting for us. Okay, good. You will not fall asleep now.
The trailer for Blade Runner 2087 or something.
There we go.
Next up is Codella. Where are you from, Codella?
Hey. 100% Turkey.
You are representing Turkey. Siz Türkiye'den misiniz?
Evet.
Okay, Codella, pitch.
Awesome. Assessing software developers is a long process which requires domain expertise. Codella is a cloud platform which automates this process without requiring any technical knowledge. A lot has changed in the software industry. It kept reinventing itself. But one thing remained the same, the technical interview. We still rely on paper and pen and the whiteboards. And it's just absurd. Codella is trying to bring that experience into the new digital era. With cloud-based Codella, companies can measure programming skills of the candidates, speed up the technical interview process, and reduce the costs. And the developer candidates can learn new programming languages, get acquainted to new algorithms, and get ready for their next technical interview. We got bootstrapped in February 2017, and in the last 8 months, we have assessed more than 1,200 candidates. We are aspiring to become a global platform for developers. We currently have 9 paying customers, of whom are the leading technology and finance institutes in Turkey. We have some competition. Our biggest differentiating factor from these competition is that we're able to measure programming library knowledge better than anyone. We're able to measure React and all these other nice libraries and just like 100% accurately place the candidate into the company. The market is growing super fast. Everyone needs developers. In 2019, the world will have 26 million developers. It's a huge opportunity for assessing developers. It's very easy to use Codella. You can just use it for free today. You get 10 assessments for free. And if you need more, you can buy our credits, and for $7.5 per assessment, you can get as many assessments as you want. We're looking for $120,000 in order to grow our business development efforts and to further create this global developer community. We have a global team that is able to execute on our vision, and we're hoping that you log in codella.net today and start testing your skills. Thank you.
Tim?
So this is something really valuable to the company. It's like hugely valuable. And you're charging $7 per assessment. I'm sort of thinking there's some business modeling that you can do that somehow makes this worth a lot more.
Yeah, we started off by positioning Codella as a pre-assessment tool. And what we wanted to do is we wanted to have business relationships. And in 8 months, we actually managed to get into like all the leading large corporations in Turkey. And now we're trying to expand on the community side and get developers and teach them how to become better in these technical interviews. And in the future, we're hoping that maybe we can use different business models and actually help these companies even further by providing them to the end-to-end service.
I would suggest looking at, there's a guy called Patrick Campbell runs a website called Price Intelligently. I would take a look at that. And it kind of reminds me a little bit of that quote, which is, you determine your B2B pricing by doubling the price of something until eventually someone says stop, and then you know that you've hit a pain point, right? I think it's
pricing.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's an interesting proposition, but I think as you scale it out internationally, it's how you get that pricing right in different markets is going to be tricky. So how are you finding candidates at the moment?
Sorry?
How are you finding the candidates for the job at the moment?
That's a trick right now, that we are actually not finding the candidates. The companies actually open up these positions, and on average in Turkey, 200 applicants apply for one position. So they have a lot of trouble assessing those candidates. What we give them is the tools to assess them all automatically and online at the same time. And what we learned is we actually got better and better at measuring who makes a good developer, and now we're going to use that technology and perhaps transform into an end-to-end solution company. But we wouldn't be able to measure it before without having this data.
Well, the tool thing just seems like a real waste. Why aren't you just standing in front of the company and saying, look, I will find you a great candidate, and I want 1/3 of their salary for the next year, and we'll make sure we assess them all, and we'll figure out who the best one is.
That's a pivot.
Well, what we wanted to do is we really didn't want to get into the soft skills assessment part, which is very tricky, by the way. Like assessing like technical skills can be done automated, but the soft skill part is not fully automatable yet. So what we're hoping is that at least we can get them to their final interviews in the future. So we can just like vet the candidate and then just pass to the company and say we're not like 100% interviewed, but like we definitely made sure that the candidate has the proper technical skills. But again, we wouldn't be able to say this without having all this data upfront.
So in the U.S. market, we talked like for half an hour, so I'm cheating a little bit here by asking this question. But in the U.S. market, you just need recruiters just throw engineers at the doorstep of the company, and that's all you need to do. And you get 30K, and it seems like you have a better way to target people to that door.
Right.
Can you maybe explain how that works here in Turkey? Is that there seems to be a difference in model in terms of getting recruiting fees?
They're pretty similar.
Okay.
Yeah. They're almost identical. The biggest difference is that the companies don't have as structured interview process as in US. Generally, they don't have the steps. We kind of like educate them on having multiple steps, such as pre-screening, like soft skills, and then technical again, and so on. But the HR firms work pretty much the same.
And we have a surplus.